So you may begin. Thank you.
Right, so how did I start painting miniatures or collecting miniatures in general? Was in middle school, my history teacher started a club that was about board games. Board games range from RPGs and card collecting and all that stuff. And one game that piqued my interest he had, my history teacher, was this game called Warhammer 40,000. The basis of the game was to collect miniatures, build them, paint them, then like use them in like battles, like armies and stuff for the miniatures. Yeah, so I'll be painting a miniature, or I painted a miniature. So the materials I needed was some brushes and a palette. Okay, this one right here. It's a dry brush, a medium base brush, and a small base brush. The small base brush was, I used it to get all the details, and the dry brush was to add some highlight to the miniature, like edge highlighting, if you know what that is. Then the medium base brush right here, or large base brush, it was used to just cover the miniature, a lot, so you could use the paint. I also used a wet palette. When I was painting the miniature, the wet palette kept drying up in my dorm because it was really hot. So I kind of gave up on wet palette and just painted on my little cutting board in the back right here. And here's the paints that I used to paint my miniature. Here's the base paints. You got corn red, lead voucher, Rackard flesh, kind of standard grade, room floor brass, and a bad black. Paints are acrylic based, and they're made by a company called Citadel, which is owned by another company called Games Workshop. All the paints I use are Citadel paints. So here's the layer paints. These are good for dry brushing or edge highlighting, like adding detail to a miniature. Like I'll explain it later, but here's the paints I use. The layer paints. You got your Shafty Bone, Storm Vermin Fur, Downstone, and shade paints, which is just watered down acrylic oil washes. Yeah. So you got Agrat Spare Shade, Druchii Violet, Viking Flesh Shade, Nun Oil, and Gilliman Flesh. But yeah, those are the paints I use and the brushes. I started priming a miniature. You can prime a miniature without airbrush, but couldn't get mine working, so I just used a dry brush with some black paint, a batted black, and just dry brush the whole miniature. Here it is. And it was kind of hard to get on the nooks and crannies, like in the back cape right here. See, it's all covered by this cloth chain thing. So it was hard to get behind it, but I tried my best. Then after that, I painted all the armor bits with my medium, large base brush with corn red. Covered it. It was all messy, but I can fix it up later with my small base brush. I painted all the armor bits red, then I painted all the leather bits. You can see the cape too, all the leather bits black with a small base brush. Tried my best, but I kept getting it on the armor bits, the red parts. So I kept having going back and repainting the model. Yeah, so after that, I kept trying to fix the model, like cover up all the mistakes I made, but trying to paint over black with a bright red color was a hassle because you can still see the dark color underneath, like the black paint underneath, so you can still see it through, so you have to keep adding layers of paint. Then if you keep doing that, adding layers, you kind of take away the detail on the miniature, so it gets all gunked up and it kind of sucks. You can't see it here. It kind of looks, good, but if you look at that miniature up close, you can see all the mistakes I made. But anyway, I covered all the silver bits with metallic paint, all the chainmail, chains, all that stuff. Yeah, kept making mistakes. Then, of course, I covered this part of silver bits, but I did shading. I kind of drenched the whole thing. Kind of looked like I dumped it into the shade paint. But anyway, I used a dark shade wash because all the paints are, darkish, brightish colors. But if you drench it in shade paints, it kind of gives it a glossy finish. You can see right there. It's all glossy and shiny, and you can see the light reflecting off the miniature. I don't know why I drenched it in shade paint. Anyway, then I painted all the bone bits and gold bits. You can see the bones, the horn, that little trophy on his chain, or the gold bits. The paint I used was kind of a hassle because it's a layer paint, and layer paint is often thinner, and it's hard to build up a coverage of it, so you have to keep going over and over thin layers, and again, that can also gunk up all the details you want. And after that, I went after the hide, the wolf cow or whatever, with 2 different shades of paint. A dark gray, then a light grayish, bluish color. And I kind of drenched the entire thing, all the bone bits, the gold bits, and the fur bits with brown wash. So that's why it looks like that. Then after that, I couldn't take a picture, but after that I used a dry brush. Then I used a lighter gray paint. Then I dry brushed all the fur bits, and it kind of gave it a bright highlight color where you can see all the details, all the pointy bits. But anyway, then I started painting this little hand trophy right here. I painted it with flesh paint. Put a bunch of shades on it to make it look all rotty and all nasty like a dried up pan would look like. But anyway, that's my attempt at it. I used a purple wash, brown wash, and a flesh wash. And that's the thing. Then here is the complete thing. It's all dirty as hell. So it's an attempt at painting miniature. Anyway, this is my first miniature ever completed. That I completed, But yeah.
You gonna do another one?
Well, I gotta paint a whole army of tiny miniatures next because during the summer, me and my little brother are gonna paint a bunch of miniatures and fight with him with our games and shit.
Good. Thank you.